Assalamualaikum teman-teman Cerita Untung. Berita seorang Vincent Focarelli sempat menggemparkan media Australia.
Police have allayed fears of a fifth attempt on gang leader Vince Focarelli's life, arresting him on drug charges.
Vincent Focarelli merupakan sebuah pemimpin gangster terkenal asal Australia. Menjadikannya banyak musuh dan menjadi target pembunuhan, beberapa kejadian membuatnya lolos. Hingga akhirnya anaknya menjadi korban baku tembak dan tewas.
Vince Focarelli was wounded and his son Giovanni killed in a shooting ambush on Sunday night.
Kejadian tersebut membuat Focarelli dipenjara dalam kasus baku tembak dan pemakaian obat terlarang. Kejadian yang merenggut nyawa anaknya sontak membuat Vincent Focarelli berubah. Seperti apa Vincent sekarang? Mari kita saksikan kisahnya hanya di Cerita Untung.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Semua teman-teman Cerita Untung, Masya Allah, Alhamdulillah nih, hari ini saya sedang ada di Kuala Lumpur, tepatnya di studionya Karangcraft. Ini Masya Allah luar biasa facility yang di sini. Dan Alhamdulillah banget, kadarullah ya, semua hal terjadi secara tiba-tiba dan spontan. Masya Allah, hari ini kita juga ketemu dengan seseorang yang sempat viral di sosial media di Indonesia beberapa tahun yang lalu. Masya Allah, hari ini saya ke tempat ini dan ternyata ketemu dengan yang viral di Indonesia sebagai Vin Diesel Muslim from Italy. Wah, Masya Allah. Assalamualaikum, Vin.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakallah khair for inviting me. I don't know about the Vin Diesel. He has more money than me.
Masya Allah, Masya Allah.
Much bigger.
Yeah, I thought you were just doing the mu'alaf and learn nothing about Islam, but I just saw you at on the aula that you shared so many, Masya Allah, inspiring story of everything. But at first, me in Indonesia know only short thing about you. How is your life?
Police have allayed fears of a fifth attempt on gang leader Vince Focarelli's life, arresting him on drug charges.
Chaotic, dark, fast, sinful, on the highest level of sins. Dangerous. I've been shot 5 different times from point blank range.
Point blank range?
Yeah. I have a bullet that was lodged here in my brain. A bullet hit my arm in here. At the back of my neck, it almost severed my nerve where I'll be paralysed for the rest of my life. I don't know if I can show the viewers my leg, but
You want one in your leg?
yeah, I have one in my leg. One hit the 2 ribs, came out. It could have gone into my heart. Brother, when I say point blank range, I mean, you know, from this distance.
Yes.
Now, Allah obviously, people say I have 9 lives. Last time I checked, I don't go meow, not a cat, right? So I think that Allah SWT had other plans for me.
Yeah.
But going back in that life, wherever I thought there was happiness, wherever I made the money, all the rest of it, as much as there was a level of minor contentment, because that was my life, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make money, I wanted to buy buildings, I wanted to have the biggest gang, you know, all that sort of stuff. There was always something empty. I had money, I had cars, I had bikes, Harleys, there was nothing I needed. I would walk into a nightclub, I wouldn't wait in line. There was respect there for, and I want to sound humble because there's nothing to brag about that life. But if we're going to talk haq, I want to be truthful, you know. So, you know, there was respect for me, not making me wait in the line of the nightclubs. So I had everything glamour, like the movies, you know.
It was in Australia?
In Australia, South Australia, Adelaide, yes. But in saying that, with all that, with a little bit of power,
Luxuries and everything.
luxuries, all the rest of it, you know, the respect from certain, you know, underworld individuals and things like that, not waiting at nightclubs, restaurants, everybody knew you. It was, you know, you thought that, you know, not to sound bragging, but everything you were looking for in that life was coming to me. I was getting it, I had it. But there was always, I mean, I should have been happy. You know, I made over $1 million, 1.23, 1.4 million dollars at that time. I had cars, fast cars, the latest car.
Did you?
Yeah, the latest cars I bought and stuff like that. I didn't go to Lamborghini or Ferraris. I didn't want to showboat, you know. But I had everything. You know, I didn't need anything. I did 11.5 years of my life in prison.
You should be happy at the moment.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I've done 11.5 years of my life before that in prison. No, sorry. not before that. I did a big whack before that. Then after that I did some years. But in between that, I had everything. I didn't need much, but there was always some emptiness. I mean that. There was something, I just wasn't happy. If I was with you in the nightclubs and I was dancing and with your friends, I'd be happy, yeah, because at that time I meant it.
Yeah.
I'm with the boys, we're drinking, I would be like, don't drink, don't take drugs, we're not condoning any of that. But you're with your friends, it's that gangster feel, you know, the music's on, you laugh, no problem. But then you go home, a little bit drunk, a little bit things. I wasn't really much of a drinker, alhamdulillah. But then you went home, even though that you're with your wife, the kids, everything else, you're driving home and you feel empty. I couldn't work it out.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was the things, certain illicit things that I took, or the drink of the alcohol, whatever the case may be. I couldn't work it out until I became Muslim and understood that I had a bit of knowledge and Allah granted me some hikmah why I felt that.
Yeah.
It was my soul. My soul wasn't happy in that life. My soul was not, you know, it didn't want to be in that life, to do things where I believe was a sin, shameful things that was displeasing Allah. So alhamdulillah that Allah chose me for Islam, and so back then, as much as I know I had everything, I might have not been the most richest guy in the world, I might have not been Donald Trump or the biggest gangster boss that had everything, but at that point in my life, for what I had, I didn't need anything, you know, I still wasn't happy.
Still wasn't happy.
Yeah, I couldn't work it out. It was a bit confusing for me, to be honest with you, because I had everything.
So anything in the world you had, you still
because
happy.
clothes, fashion clothes, good glasses, Versace glasses if you need them. I had money to buy that, brand new phones. I had gold chains and things. I had my Harley Davidson. I modified it, spent over thousands of dollars to make it even look more bling bling. Cars, you know, I had the respect of the city, of the bosses, of the certain organizations of my clubs when I came. Like I said, we wouldn't be lining up. Vince, come in. So we had that. It's like the movies. So why wouldn't I be happy? I got a crew around me.
Only on the movie, but this is the real lifestyle.
Real life, real
Wow.
life. But there's a dark side to this too.
Yeah.
As much as it sounds good and bling bling, we're not trying to condone it. I had boys around me, you know, guns trying to protect me. I was doing the same thing to my, when I got into that life, it was my boss, he was Lebanese, it was my boss, I saw him as my boss, but he was also the best man at my wedding. We had a great relationship. So, you know, I always carried a gun to protect him. There is, look, that life is fascinating. That life is intriguing. That life does lure you in. That bling bling thing, it's attractive. Make no mistake about it. And this is the problem we have. That, and then the money. I was no. I want to be very honest. I was never big on the money. I didn't care. To be honest, I wasn't really. I made $1 million. I'm gonna make another $1 million. Hungry. A lot of people, you know, become very greedy. I wasn't that. All I want to do is spend time with my boys. You know, go out, hang out, have that brotherhood thing, then go back home and provide for my family and make sure that they get paid at school, the money goes, you know, buy them certain things, bikes, things like that. That was my happiness. My mum, my father. So it was more like that. But there's a dark side of that, my brother. You know, as much as the bling bling, pay for the ticket flight to some other state. We had, Allah forgive me, you know, us men, we like to see women perform certain dances and rituals. It was very, very, very satanic. I have to be honest. It was very satanic. I know that now. We have to understand and keep in mind, and I'll finish on this and we'll go to the next question. We have to keep in mind and let the viewers know, my beautiful brothers and sisters, Assalamualaikum. I love you all for the sake of Allah. Pay attention, please. As much as it's a bling bling, if you do something to displease Allah, that means that now you can bring me a scholar, a ulama, a sheikh, and if they disagree with me, I will not take their advice. I know that I'm right. If we do something that is against Allah and pleases shaitan, that's a form of worship to Iblis. That's a form of worship. It's true, brother. If we say Bismillah, it's a form of worship, right? Yeah. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu to give blessings on Friday. And Allah runs barakah on us, there are certain du'as we do. If we eat our food, are we allowed to eat it without saying Bismillah? No, so we have to say Bismillah. Everything that we do ritual that pleases Allah is a form of worship Allah. When you take that away and you start selling drugs, it's haram. That's a worship to do. Oh. When those drugs, what people don't understand, when you sell drugs, it's satanic. Yeah. Let me tell you why. When you're dealing with Satan, he wants destruction on earth, he wants the destruction of family, and one thing he wants, he doesn't want the Muslim community around the world, our brothers and sisters, to be united, strong, family orientated, and strong with the brotherhood. Because he was kicked out of heaven. Iblis. He was kicked out of heaven because he was jealous against Adam. When Allah says, I've created Adam from clay and all the rest of it, he said, now bow down to my creation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say bow down to worship it. Yeah. He said bow down to appreciate it. But let's not even explain why. Allah gave you a command. Bow down. All the angels bow down except Iblis. Yeah. Of arrogance and hate towards the human being. So what did Iblis say? And I want to bring up the story because we need to start from the roots of why we are where we are. So Iblis was kicked down. I'll make the long story short. He was kicked out of heaven and forsaken, and said, "How dare you? There's no arrogance up here." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "You are forsaken. Get out of heaven, and you're going to Jahannam." Iblis said and knew the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and said, Ya Allah, please forgive me, grant me a time of a point, grant me some mercy, grant me some respite. Yeah. What that means is, give me some time, respite on earth. So he granted that. Allah knows what's going on. I said, okay, your time is respited on earth until the day of judgment. So what did Iblis say? Now that you have forsaken me, I will attack your believers, I will attack your slaves from the front, from the back, from the rear, from the right and from the left. The war on mankind has been waged ever since. Yeah. So he's waged war on us. So everything that we do that creates corruption. And what I mean by that is corruption and destruction. What does drugs do when somebody gets addicted?
Yeah, you can steal.
They steal from their parents, they kill, they rape, they murder, they do things, they take assassination hits to make 5,000, 6,000 when you're addicted. That's just that. Then they become prostitution with a man or women. It's a domino effect. Yeah. So when you're selling drugs and making money, you think that you're doing the right thing. All those drugs that go into the community are destroying our people. Not only our brothers and sisters in Islam, we're talking about the community. And I'll tell you why we speak about the community. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him, was sent from the mercy of Allah for the benefit of mankind, to all mankind, right? So when we say it destroys the community, it does, and that's just drugs, you know what I mean? So that life, as much as it's bling bling, and it is, when you got money and you know that you can buy this and you can buy that and you can pay the rent and you can buy the house and you can drive your car and and people see, then it becomes a status and all the rest of it, you start thinking, 1, 2, 3, you become heavier and more into your life. But there is a dark side of that is satanic. Wallahi by Allah, people must understand and accept what I'm saying. When you're in that life, you are committing high levels of ceremonial, satanic worshipping. Because Iblis gave you all that. Allah didn't give you that. Yeah. This is haram and this is halal. So as much as it was fun and games and it was enjoyable, bling bling, look at me, Vince, gangster, the head of the bikie, the president, the head of the organization of other street gangs, and you mafia, whatever it is. And with the Italians, we are connected to respect. Yeah. So when somebody shows you that when somebody respects you, that means you've made it.
Yeah. Oh, especially so respect is a
big deal for us. Oh. Big deal. When the heads, the bosses of nightclubs, the bosses of strip joints and things like that, because that's where we are. Underground casinos, underground, gambling. When all these open the doors to you and show, hey Vince, how are you? Come in. Then you feel like you've made it, because these people don't care about anyone. Yeah. So as much
So
as
faith already being passport or in one place.
I think from 12 years old, 13, 14 years old, I played. I think I got my ticks, you know. I got my stripes, to say my stripes. So when I became 21, you know, I became bigger. When I came out of jail, it became bigger because people trusted me because I got my stripes. Every time I got in trouble, I never.
Oh, so it's also.
Of course.
But your level is higher after you.
Come on, no, this is a code of silence. You talk to the police. There's no way anyone will fire you.
It happens really like a movie.
Brother, wallahi, exactly the same. And I'm not putting tickets on myself. I lived that life, and my enemies will tell you. Even if they want to kill me, my enemies will tell you. I lived that life the way it should have been lived. I didn't put one foot here and one foot there. There was 2 feet in that life, and it came with code of silence. So, you know, whenever I got done and went to prison, I could have given up the big guys and got no sentence. Made a deal with the police, never. So when the other people started seeing that, the big guys, that's the respect, because that's what is required in there. Yeah, it's required in there. I saw things that will put people away for a very, very long time. So when I went to prison, I could have used that to my advantage. Look, this guy, that guy, but I didn't, because I lived that life, you know. I was prepared to die and go to jail for a very long time.
Well, some people, they could die just because of code of silence, right?
This is the number one rule. You get caught.
Even your life is in danger, you still do the code.
I didn't talk yet. I was shocked.
Loyalty, that level. What?
Yeah, mainly for myself as well, because I'm not that person. In underworld, I never ever gave up anyone or spoke on anyone or, you know, all that sort of stuff. So in that lifestyle, even when I was Muslim, that we are encouraged to do the right thing, I still couldn't do that, you know. And I kept of course I did. This is important, and that life requires it. If you get killed for that, you get killed for that. You get stabbed in jail if you give up. They put you on the dog, the rat. You have to go to protection. You have to go to witness protection and all the rest of it, and all that stuff. Even when my life was in danger, they offered me witness protection, and I looked at the police. I said, "Don't you go?" You know, I was about to say something nasty to him, but he goes, "Vince, we know you're not going to say yes, but we have to do it as protocol." I stayed in my own hometown. I never allowed anyone to dictate or what do you say, push me out of my home. So I stayed there, whether the danger was not. I feared Allah. I knew Allah was with me. I knew at some point that if somebody came and, you know, shot me at the back of the head, it wasn't for his talent. Allah wrote that for me. I was at peace with that. So when I became Muslim, I changed my life around.
But I'm wondering, who's the one who introduced you to Islam? I mean, with this, the whole life that you had, and suddenly you get connected to Islam is quite interesting.
On the third night, I was about to leave the home. So we went out, we started nightclubbing, some shootings happened. This is fair dinkum, real stuff, fights, all the rest of it. On the third night, so the first night, second night, still talking, listening, boom, but everything Islam. And this is my analysis. And the Malaysian culture, put the religion aside for a second, is unbelievably majestic and beautiful. Kind and respectful and gentle and really love their parents. This, not everyone is like that, but generally that they bow and kiss your hand. The respect is so beautiful.